on the way for you. But there at the top there, you can see confirmation of Chelsea's 3-0 win at West Ham. Then the 6-game goal rush will be upon us with Liverpool-Bournemouth as our feature game. Liverpool at Anfield, hoping to recover from that defeat last weekend to Nottingham Forest. And then we end the day at Selhurst Park as Crystal Palace take on Manchester United. And then it's a huge game tomorrow, isn't it? Manchester City against Arsenal, two of this season's title contenders going head-to-head. We cannot wait for that one. Let's take you to the bottom of the table. And remember, when we started the day, we said that West Ham had the opportunity to climb to the top half, but they suffered defeat, so they remain 14th in the table, 4 points from their opening 5 Premier League games. Of course, Southampton and Everton also looking to pick up their first points of this Premier League season. To the top half of the table we go, and Chelsea fans will be delighted to see their side second in the table, just behind Manchester City. Of course, you've just seen City and Arsenal play tomorrow. Newcastle could top the table if they take 3 points today. Liverpool and Villa could also end the day in the top 4.
That couldn't have gone much better, could it? What was that like, celebrating with your fans just now?
Yeah, you know, it's good. Tough place to come, good 3 points, so yeah, we're happy.
Nicolas, great game for you, 2 goals and an assist. Talk us through that first goal. Could you sense a lack of intensity from West Ham, that you could sense an opportunity just to get that early goal?
Yeah, no, they were good, but I saw the chance to run behind them, and then I gave the ball to Jadon. He gave it back, so I needed to accelerate and try to score as early as possible so we can control the game after.
Talk us through that celebration as well, bit of dancing.
Yeah, it's like to remember the legend, you know, Jackson, so I was dreaming about it, so I just did it because I dreamt it like 2 days ago, so I just did it, yeah.
How good was he today, Cole?
Yeah, top. Everyone knows he's a top player. He just needs to keep going, and I'm sure he'll get better and better because everyone at Chelsea, the Chelsea fans, you know, the players, we rate him very highly and we know what he's capable of.
When you hear that, Nicolas, and you keep performing like this, how much does your confidence continue to build?
Yeah, he's growing higher with my teammates because, you know, they help me a lot and they have confidence in me and me to them. So we just keep going and this one is finished, so next week we go into another one.
Second half, the damage was done after you got your goal as well, Cole. What was that like, that feeling, just getting that early goal in the second half? Did you sense an opportunity to kill the game off?
Not really, but when I see Nico driving, I knew if I got on the outside, he played the right pass, and yeah, thankfully I scored.
Yeah. Looking at the squad as well, Nicolas, obviously there's competition for places, particularly up front. Was it important for you to get on the score sheet today?
No. The most important is the team to win, you know. I don't care about to play or not playing. The most important is the team win. I'm happy to play always, but, you know, to fight for the team and make the team win, that's the most important thing for me, you know.
There's been a lot of noise about Chelsea this season, Cole, but 10 points from your first 5 games, that's pretty good going, isn't it?
Yeah, there's always going to be noise, but we try and block it out and do our stuff, listen to the manager, because, you know, we've got a very good manager, which can only help us get better, so we block it all out and focus on us.
Well done to both of you today. Nicolas, you're the man of match. Cole, do the honours.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, thank you.
Bless you.
Maresca, Joe, you were delighted with that performance from a Chelsea point of view, I'm sure. You said to me earlier you haven't seen the fans that happy for a long time. What do you think is pleasing them the most?
I think they look like a clear way of playing. They look like cohesion. They look like a happy team. You know, sometimes I know scoring goals and everyone playing well, it's easy to be happy, you know. But that said, there was from the goalkeeper right the way through every element of what they did, from the structure, from the back, playing through midfield. The counter-attacking was exceptional. The way they got in behind them, you know, I don't want to jump the gun early, but there was glimpses of it that reminded me of that Liverpool side with Mane, Salah and Firmino in that sense, in the fast attacks. You know, Maduaki's got pace, Sancho, Palmer, Jackson, Felix, Neto, the options are there, and they should be, because Chelsea have got 40-odd players, so the options are there. But it looked like
plenty to pick from.
And the fans afterwards, that was like it felt like a sense of.
Do you think they feel that there's a turning point?
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's been false dawns before in the last few years under this new regime, but they look really, really happy. Now it's down to the manager and the players to bring that consistency to the table as much as they can, and I think Thursday night is going to be a really good thing for this group of players, these young players, because Chelsea will be the best side on the pitch, I would imagine, every Thursday night right up until the final if they get there. So that's a time for them players to settle in and Enzo to work on things. finally, it's things are starting to turn the corner, and the Chelsea fans can be quietly optimistic.
Nicolas Jackson kept that number 9 position today. There was some questions about whether Nkunku should start, but he really justified the manager's decision.
I think this is be interesting what Enzo said. I think it's a tactical thing, because I think he saw something in West Ham where you could break past them and run, and Jackson's fantastic making that run, running the channel. He recognises space, that he backs into it, lays it off, and then he's gone. And that's what he brings. And Nkunku has got that, but Jackson, that's what he does. He's a centre forward by trade, and that's a lovely finish. See there, you've got 2 options. You lift it to the goalkeeper's left shoulder. It's a really difficult finish as you open your body, or you go through the goalie's legs, and he chose the latter.
But West Ham, again, for the second one, just make it too easy for them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll break it down when we can, but like in terms of how to defend the back line, watch how disjointed this back line is. Mavropanos goes in there, Alvarez goes in, and then the left back stays back. So,
where's the
so
pressure?
much gaps. There's no pressure on the ball. There's so many gaps. All of the things that are a recipe for disaster from a defensive perspective, West Ham did in that first 20 minutes. And you could see the manager, Julian Lopetegui, he was bouncing up and down like a jumping jack in the box. He was, and I think Jackson played today because Enzo saw that, and I think it was a good decision.
21 goals. That was his 50th appearance today for Chelsea. 8 assists as well, Joe. They're really impressive numbers for someone who has been quite a polarising figure, I guess.
Yeah, they're good
Why
numbers.
Is that?
They're good numbers. He's a young man. He's a young player. He's learning his trade. People talked about Didier Drogba's first 2 seasons when he wasn't as prolific as he later becomes. Different players. I don't think you can compare him to that level. And goals are more easy to come by in modern football. But never that he has scored the goal. He has got 21 goals in 50, which is decent, and he will get better. He needs to keep just improving, a bit more composed and confidence. He's going to bounce into the next game. He's going to be, I want a chance. So I'm very, very pleased for him.
We'll talk a bit more about Nicolas Jackson a bit later.
Yeah.
He was the man of the match today. But there was a big potential turning point in that first half as well. The West Ham fans here screaming for a penalty when Somerville was pulled by Fofana. Yeah. Joe, it wasn't given by the referee. Was it a penalty in your view?
I believe West Ham fans are right to shout for a penalty. I think it was a penalty. I think, it's clear as day. If you put your hands on someone and pull, there, he's got his hands on him. He's got that. Somerville actually was one of the few West Ham players that I thought done himself justice today. He had a go.
Is it just a fleeting hand hold?
Because I understand the framework from VAR. It was fleeting, but you can't hold someone's shirt for a little bit. A foul's a foul. If you're in the box and you get exposed on a 1-2 and you grab someone and you pull them a little bit and they go down, you run the risk of giving a penalty. I don't think Fofana could have had much of a case if the ref points to the spots. I think West Ham fans were hard done by that.
Yeah, not sustained holding was what the Premier League Match Centre said. We know that they want a really high bar for VAR to overturn the referee's decision, so the referee's call stands. But your view is that the referee should have given it on the pitch,
the referee missed one there. And I agree with it needs to be a hard, because there's so many... Our games is played so much in between the lines in the grey, and you could probably get me and 10 other ex-players, and some of them will definitely think it wasn't a penalty. So we want the light touch with VAR. We want our game to flow. We want the emotion and the passion. And unfortunately, with emotion and passion, sometimes comes disappointment and frustration because they should have got one and they didn't. Next week, they might get one, but it's better than stopping it for every little 50-50 thing. It's one of them. I don't see where you can look hands on here, pull. He's gone down. If you said to me he's gone down easy and we didn't give it because of that, that's more of an argument, But then you're getting into the realms of we're going back 20 years where you have to commit GBH to have a penalty. Do you know what I mean? So
back in your day,
yeah, but so we want attacking. We want more goals. We want people to have 40 goals in 40 games. Fans turn up and they pay their money. They want to be entertained. They want to see Somerville having a licence. They don't want to see 3 or 4 cloggers in the midfield crashing into people all the time. You want good, attractive football, so you have to benefit the attacker. So I could understand that argument, but I don't understand the fleeting touch. A foul's a foul. If you put your hand on someone, the ref's well within his rights to give it.
They started the first half so well, Chelsea. Came out in the second half. The Lopetegui team talk didn't work, Joel, because Jackson soon set up Cole Palmer.
Yeah, and again, look, they're on their front foot. You can tell they've been told to get bodies in the box, can we attack? But this is about Chelsea's quality. And this is how to play through a press. Outstanding football, in, out, but then I question desire. Look at, is it Madueke on the outside? Look at the desire to go through. When you're running, when it's a 2 against 3 in the attacker's favour, look at that for football there. When it's a 2 against 3, watch Madueke's run coming up on the outside here, the desire, as opposed to the West Ham players. And you've got options to go either way, then you're in business. Then you're in business. He could have gone to Madueke, he'd have probably scored, he'd put it to Palmer, and that is a lovely finish. You never thought he'd miss. And actually, this time sort of a bit further down the line, Cole Palmer was was all going through. Now he's part of a good system.
Absolutely. Look at his numbers, though, Joel. Since making his Premier League debut for Chelsea in September 2023, Cole Palmer has contributed to more goals than any other player.
Yeah.
What a signing indeed.
Yeah, what a signing. And also, about that list, there's 2 Englishmen in there who were on the peripheries of the squad and played a part in the summer. You know, Ollie Watkins has got to go on again, and so is Cole Palmer. He can go on again. What fantastic sign! And it's not often you say Pep Guardiola may have got one wrong there. I think when he's sitting there, you know, of a night time, he probably regrets letting Cole Palmer leave.
Do you think he is the sort of player where he has to be the main man?
No.
He wants to feel like he's the main man and be that big fish, which is why this move has worked for him.
I don't think so. I think he just loves football. He wants to play football. You know, we see the Foden way of players developing at Man City, blooding him in. For years, people going, he needs to go on loan, he needs to play football. Cole Palmer just got itchy feet at Man City and was like, right, I want to play football. I don't have to be the main man, because I look at him, how he is around his teammates. He plays with a swagger and he plays with an arrogance.
Just wants to play all the time.
He wants to play, and he's popular with his teammates. You can see that they enjoy his company. He enjoys playing with him. He likes to assist as much as he likes to score. I think he's defensively been very, very good as well when Chelsea have lost the ball this season. I just think his personality was just a shining light last year on Chelsea when it was all going wrong, and there were some players who wasn't at their best, and the crowd were getting on their back, and everything was going through Cole Palmer, and he puffed his chest out.
He stood up,
he puffed his chest out, and he give the fans something to believe in, and he give his teammates something to believe in, and now everyone's come with him. I think he'll develop into a leader as he gets older. I think he's a superb player, and Chelsea, for all the business that hasn't gone right over the last 2 years, but they've certainly got that one. They certainly got that one right.
Absolutely spot on, that one. Another goal today for Cole Palmer. On the other side of things today, it's been a massively disappointing day for the Hammers. We can hear from their captain, Jared Bowen, now is with Jules.
Jared, tough to speak as the captain after a game like that. What happened out there?
I just don't think we was ever in the game, really, which is probably an awful thing to say. But if you're being honest and having a true reflection on the game, it's, you know, I think the goals that they scored were very easy on our part, you know, 2 almost gifts. I think the first one was from a quick free kick. And that's the thing in this league, you have to be switched on at every moment. And they punished us with the first goal. And then the second goal again was, haven't seen it back, but on the pitch it felt it was quite easy to play through. So, yeah, just a disappointing day all round.
When you say you felt like you were never in the game, was that to do with mentality, a lack of intensity out there? What do you think it was?
It could be a number of things. Of course, as a player, and obviously as captain, you have to lead that and rally everyone together. I just thought we gave them too much respect in the end. You know, even little fouls, it wasn't leaving one on someone to let them know that they're in for a game or at home. Using our crowd, get the crowd up. I don't feel we've done that enough today to really punish them. And 2-0, we have a goal disallowed that you might make it a different game, but come out second half and it was, you know, this is it now. It's a 2-goal lead, almost nothing to lose. Go out there and then we can see the goal after a minute. So just knocks the stuffing out of us again. So disappointing day, but listen, we accept the defeat. The game's done. We put it to bed. We watch it, see what we can improve on, and work to. You know, we've got Liverpool in the cup next Wednesday, and then followed away to Brentford. So, games coming thick and fast to put it right.
Still no points at home, though. It's the first time in history that West Ham have lost their opening 3 home league games, and a few of the fans left early. Can you understand that?
Yeah, for sure. Being 3-0 down at home against your local rivals and an early kick-off in a game that you want to put a performance on for the fans and a result for the fans. I totally get that as supporters, why they would do that. We're still early in the season, we still have a lot of games to go, which is a positive for us. And now it's about rallying together as a group. Everyone's disappointed, of course, when you lose a game. But the important thing is now, like I said, the game's done. We come in tomorrow, go to Monday, new week, and we're coming in high spirits and looking to pull it right. That's the only way.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, they really do need to rally. When you need a win, though, Carabao Cup away at Liverpool is West Ham's next game, so it doesn't get any easier for them. We'll be talking more about their performance today, where they go next as well. Also a bit more about Chelsea. We'll hear from both the managers at the London Stadium as well, from Enzo Maresca and Julian Lopetegui as well. And we might have a word as well on the big one tomorrow between Man City and Arsenal. But the Gallagher Premiership returned yesterday and it gets going again today. There is a big one. It is Exeter. Social media after that win. Despolio says Jackson, Tosin and Caicedo were all superb today. Phenomenal performance, 3 points and a clean sheet at one of the toughest away grounds. Up the Chelsea. Jim says that's as bad as it can get from West Ham, I hope. Don't have anything positive to say. Never leave a game early, but I spent the last 25 minutes hoping the ref would blow early so I could go home for some lunch. We never looked in it. And this one from Luke says, seeing a much more mature and cohesive Chelsea team this year. Clearly Maresca is having a positive impact and the players are all buying into it. Good to see. And Lucy Ward joins Joe and I. And Lucy, is that the thing today, that we saw a Chelsea team who look like they've completely bought into the ideas of Enzo Maresca, and a West Ham team where we're still not quite sure what the plan is under Lopetegui?
Yeah, I think it's exactly right, Lindsay. I liked the look of Chelsea, and I think conversely, I think West Ham, the setup was strange. I was trying to see what he was trying to do. I think he had Alvarez sort of next to the centre-backs as if they were playing with a 5, then the gaps between the units were so big, and it just allowed... they made Chelsea look good in central midfield, even though they were good. But I do think you're right. I think Maresca's got his point across. I think that they're playing for him, but that needed time, and I do think there's a lot of relationships on the pitch growing. Tosin was good. He came in between Fofana and Colwill, and I think that was important that he played well, because there really offers a threat as well.
I agree with what Lou said. I couldn't work out why Alvarez was dropping into the back 5. I could understand it if it was 20 yards deeper and Chelsea had the ball and then you're set in a 5 and a 4. But he was sort of dropping back in, and then no one was really... it looked like everyone was unsure who to pick up and when to pick them up. Wan-Bissaka was also rotating into midfield and sometimes pushing right up on Cucurella. And then that was the first goal come from Alvarez. When you're a centre midfielder, you don't want to be running against Nicolas Jackson. No. And so, off the ball, West Ham, they've been so good under Moyes, and I couldn't work out what they were doing today.
I tell you what, they thought that Chelsea were going to play a high line. That's what I thought. I think they thought they'd have that room to run into for Bowen, to run into for Kudus, but they didn't. They sort of dropped for, and that's clever. That's the manager specifically saying, look, I don't want you to play high because I don't want to give them that space, because they've got Somerville, they've got Kudus and Bowen Hill running behind. And as soon as they sort of dropped and denied that space, West Ham just looked sort of out of ideas, drove them forward, which was key, and then they just passed it past them. Just too easy in that central midfield area. He hasn't got that right in the central midfield area.
And Chelsea exploited it. George, just take us through how they sort of ripped them apart.
Well, it was very crisp and concise with a move. Look here, counter-attacker. This is what I said about the Liverpool team of Prime. Look at that. Up, back and through. But then look at the desire of Madueke on the right of your screen to make it. This is you do this all the time in training. 3 against 2, pick the right pass. Beautiful attacking, counter-attacking play. And this was consistently loose right the way through. Look, whenever they're there, bang, everyone knows. They flood forward, they get up the pitch, and you must say, and I hate saying this, but West Ham look like they...
Yeah, West Ham's structure's so poor. They're not stopping that first ball out whatsoever.
Yeah, it was a hard day for West Ham. Hello, boss. Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, Enzo Maresca has come out to join us here. We're just looking at your team just really ripping West Ham apart, really, on the counter-attack today. Did it surprise you at all about how easy they made it for you?
Well, I don't think it's been easy. Probably because we score early, it's more complicated for them, mentally and tactically, probably. But I think I said before the game, they are, for me, very good team, very good manager. They have some fantastic players. Kudus, Paqueta, they have many good players. But overall, I think we deserve to win the game.
The guys were just saying just how much the players look like they're really buying into your ideas and you're putting a real stamp on that team. What pleased you the most about the performance?
No, very happy, but it's quite easy. If they don't buy, they don't play. So there is not. There is not. No, it's like this. I'm
they
very
know
happy.
Who's boss?
No, I'm very happy because since we start, they have been open mind in terms of they want to see things, they want to learn, and probably we have been a bit intense with the video session. But in this moment, is the moment that you need to insist.
Enzo, there were so many standout performances. Jackson was good, Caicedo was good, the two centre-backs were good. Who pleased you most out of that performance?
Probably Nicolas and Cole, because the way we prepared the game today was to set the 3 against 2 for them in the pressing. They were building with 3 players and we were just with 2. So they spend a lot of energy on that. So Nicolas has been fantastic because he scored, Cole also, but especially the work they did off the ball.
Can I ask you, because watching West Ham set up, Alvarez was dropping into the back 4, making it a 5 very early, and Wan-Bissaka seemed to be going either right up with Cucurella. And I thought we Chelsea exposed it very, very well. Particularly for the first goal, running Jackson down this channel, the holes. Was that something you was looking at, you thought was a weakness?
Well, we knew since they started the season, they played almost all the games.
Yeah.
For some part of the game against Fulham and City, they dropped one midfielder building with the 5, like today. So we expected that. And the reason why we have set the 3-B2 there is because we knew with Wan-Bissaka on one side and Emerson, they were very higher. So in the moment that we recover the ball, we can use that space like the first goal.
Nicolas Jackson's numbers are brilliant since he's signed for Chelsea. 21 goals and 8 assists in 50 games. There are questions about him. There have been, certainly, about the chances that he misses. But you're sticking with him up front. Just tell us more about what he does for the team as well as scoring those goals.
I said during the week, when a player misses a goal, doesn't mean that he's not playing well. It can happen. Against Bournemouth, probably he missed 2-3 goals. It's too much. But it can happen. But overall, his performance was good. And today, again, I think the performance was very good in terms of numbers. Goal and assist since we start has been good. But off the ball, the way he's working, him, Cole, we are happy.
I know you said at the start of your time that the owners haven't put any pressure on you to finish in the top 4. But the way you've started the season, what you're seeing from your players, do you believe that's possible?
No, I just said I think we are very happy today because we won a game and also clean sheet. But the most important thing is that we can attack better, we can defend better, we can do many things better. And in this moment, I think is the main has to be the main target for us.
And you've got 4 straight home games now as well. You've done so well away from home this season. How much are you looking forward to putting in some performances like that in front of your own fans?
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we can give them 3 points at home. That we can give a fantastic day also at home. Away with the fans is always nice because they are making noise. And this is what we need at home. And hopefully we can give them 3 points next game.
Well, the away fans over there are absolutely delighted today, that's for sure.
Yeah,
so thanks for coming out to join us and well done.
Sure.
Well done, boss.
Thank you, man. All the best.
Well done, Enzo. Thank you very much. It was funny when he said there they don't buy into it, they don't play. Obviously, we've said so much about the size of the squad they've got, but he's working with his group now that he wants to work with. Lucy, do you think there's now a real healthy amount of competition in that side?
Yeah, I think so. I think he talked in this press conference before about having 2 players for each position, particularly in the forward areas. But it's key, quite a couple of things that he said. And I think there's something that was thrown at him before he even started, that he wouldn't be adaptable, he wouldn't change. But he explained there about watching West Ham, knowing how they built, knowing how many numbers they had, and using the 2 forwards of Cole, Palmer and Jackson to try and press well. So he sort of talking about somebody who, and they're obviously listening to him. Do you know what I mean? That I know it sounds simple, but that's what's happening at Chelsea, and I think that is a move in the right direction. And they can see that he knows what he's talking about. They can see that what he says happens on the pitch. So all of a sudden, then you get the buy-in from all the players.
Obviously, no pressure to finish top 4, apparently, but it would be bad for Chelsea as a brand, as a football club, Joe, globally, financially as well, if they don't make the Champions League.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible?
First of all, I loved his answer when you said about buy-in. Like, well, if they don't buy in, they don't play. I thought that was a statement. Sometimes when you come out and you talk to the press and you have an idea of what you might be asked, whether it's positive or negative, and you think of things, how do I want to be perceived? Because the players will watch that. I think if he said that just so naturally, that is definitely I think must be one of the non-negotiables. I'm the boss, you're with me, we're here, and we're doing it this way. And if you don't want to do it this way, that's fine. You can go over there. And that, I think, shows strength. And I think, in regards to the Champions League place, the club should be in the Champions League with the amount of money spent. And there will be, for whatever reason, the club don't want to come out and say, this is what we want to do, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. But whether they say it or whether they don't say it, the fans expect it, the footballing world expects it, the players expect it. So that's the goal. Whether it's been said or not said, the goal is Champions League football for this year, in my opinion.
But do you think they'll do it? We know what the goal is. Do you put them in your top 4?
Yeah. I think... And listen, I'll have to go home and digest this because I need to work out whether that was a fantastic Chelsea performance.
You don't want to get too excited, Joe. Go home and have a think about it.
Joe, they've been building momentum. They got that late win against Bournemouth. Probably didn't deserve to win. That's important because that steals you up as a group. And then come in here, and they played well. West Ham weren't the best, but they still played well. They still had the scorer scoring goals. Look, that second finish for Jackson is the finish of a really confident centre forward, and that's exactly what you want.
In your top 4, Lucy?
Well, I didn't put... What did I... Oh, yeah, I did. I upset him because
I put... You can change your mind, though.
You still think Spurs are finishing above Chelsea?
Spurs above Chelsea, and then he nearly started to cry, honestly.
I've just had it in my ear. Spurs are losing 1-0 to Brentford at home.
Right.
So
OK, I may change my mind. But I was asked to do it at 7 o'clock this morning as I was travelling down here, so that's probably why.
Well, I said Crystal Palace were going to be my surprise package, but I didn't say in what way they were going to surprise. So there you go. I'm going to stick to that. Right, we've heard from
Nicolas Jackson, the man of the match, and a well-deserved man of the match award there. He certainly deserved it. And those two have become quite the force, actually, since they've been playing in a Chelsea shirt together. You can see the most Premier League goal contributions from 2023 to 24 to the present day. And they are top of the table with 10. They're becoming quite the partnership, Mo.
Yeah, they are. I mean, and it's understandable, Jackson playing as the main focal point now, and of course we all know what Cole Palmer's all about. I mean, he's just been incredible last season. He was absolutely brilliant. So that is a lethal combination in there for Chelsea, and they'll want to keep that continuity. That's a team that, yes, they've got a big squad. Yes, they've got people to come in and change the team if they're struggling. But I think in the main, the manager now has got a nucleus of the players he wants to start. And, of course, he's not going to change much if they keep winning as emphatically as they did today. That was a good performance today. So Chelsea might be onto something. We all have said so many times in recent seasons that it's just all, they get a little bit of consistency and then it all gets ripped up again. But all of a sudden, it's been a really impressive start to the season. They've been beaten by Manchester City. That's no problem there. I mean, most teams do. Apart from that, they've been pretty much perfect.
They have, and with all the noise and the questions around their number 9 in that position, something we spoke about at the start, Nicolas Jackson, he delivered, and very early on in the game, in 4 minutes.
Yeah, and he spoke there and he said that, if you score early, then you get a chance to control the game, and that's exactly what happened. But, I mean, in terms of West Ham, they went from, in Chelsea's sort of like final third and then, conceding a free kick, and I just felt like they just switched off. You look at Wan-Bissaka's position there, sometimes can he be more tucked in, It's sort of like he's in the wrong position, and Nicolas Jackson, to be fair to him, he knows that there's that space there for him to run into. But even when you get it here, he probably can't believe the space that he gets, because even when he gets you think, okay, then he's not really going to get into the box, because the West Ham defenders should come across, they should cover and get across the pitch quicker. It doesn't happen, but fair play to him, it was a good finish when he got there.
Yeah, I thought Alvarez was pretty slow here. I thought he could keep Jackson going out wide, but he just didn't have the pace to. The other thing I never mentioned at half-time, actually, I don't think the goalkeeper's covered himself in any glory then. You shouldn't be scoring from there.
No.
I mean, I've bared down on goalkeepers loads of times like that. I know what I don't want to confront, and it's certainly not that. If a goalkeeper's coming and opening his legs and giving you an out, well, thanks very much, I'll take it. I'll just place it through your legs. Really, you shouldn't be scoring from there. But this is a lovely goal as well. Great finish from Jackson. We see Cucurella in the middle there, creating the overload, so there's always one spare man. It ends up being Caicedo. And again, I don't know what Alvarez is doing here. Look at him. Why does he gamble and go past Jackson? He's got no pace. Look at him. Why? I just don't get it. You give yourself a couple of yards. You certainly don't jump in front of him.
I think this is why teams do that, don't they? This is why, people ask the questions about, fullbacks going into midfield. I think if you do that, you do it right, and you create that overload, and you create like a box in the middle of the pitch for moments like that. But the finish that Mo said there was fantastic. But that's what happens when you're confident. You go through on goal. We just knew that he was going to score.
Yeah, and he is full of confidence, isn't he? Let's have a look at 3-0, Cole Palmer. We said that he is one name that is guaranteed to start, and this is why. He delivers. Yeah, again, we made the point at half-time. Wan-Bissaka in a forward, in an advanced position, and again, Chelsea can attack. Look, all that space in the left-hand side. Cole Palmer does really well. He notices early that he's got to make an overlapping run. Again, defensively, why are they trying to nick the ball all the time? They keep conceding themselves. They just keep giving themselves away. All of a sudden, they're one man down because they're too aggressive in trying to win the ball. Just let Jackson touch it. Let him go back. Keep your shape. But no, they commit themselves. But this is a lovely finish. I was saying to Jermaine when it went in, this is a finish that's probably not used enough. And that angle, going high and near post, is impossible for the goalkeeper. It's a really good finish.
You know what's interesting? Even looking at the goals, and you see how much space Nicolas Jackson had, not just him, the forward players to run into. I can't remember seeing Wan-Bissaka playing like that ever.
No.
I can't remember the amount of times I've seen him actually running back towards his own goal. He's never probably played like that before. I think with him, you speak about 1v1 defending, he probably has to stay in his position and make it a little bit difficult. But it was weird how high he played, and in certain moments as well, he's actually been inverted playing inside.
If you're West Ham, if you're the manager, if you're the recruitment officer, if you're whoever you are at West Ham, and you're wanting a fullback to play in this, the last person you go and buy is Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, I think he's probably the best right back in terms of defensively in the country, in the Premier League. But if you're going to ask somebody to get up wide and high and come inside and start playing, central as well, then I don't know why you would get Wan-Bissaka. That's not his game. His game is plugging the gaps, is not letting anything past. He's a brilliant defender. He's not brilliant going forward. Yet they're utilising him in totally the wrong way. It's a very strange buy if they're going to utilise him like that.
Yeah.
OK, let's now analyse Chelsea in transition. What did you notice about this, Michael?
Well, one, that West Ham were really poor in transition, but two, Chelsea pounced with numbers and with pace. I mean, there was so many times, Jermaine referred to it before, there was 4v2, 5v2 sometimes. They could have scored so many more, particularly in the second half. And I get it, West Ham are trying to get back into the game. They're going to commit a few bodies forward. But look at that, that's 3v1, that one.
I think if you are going to do... sometimes a lot of teams, they're actually more vulnerable when they've got the ball. So that means as soon as that ball changes hands, as soon as the ball turns over, you have to sense danger. And I think Chelsea, it was like every time the ball broke down, the transition was so quick and fast and efficient that they got into the areas, and that's where their goals come from. But in terms of West Ham, I think if you are going to play that way, sometimes the balance behind the ball's got to be important, because as soon as you lose possession, then you're so vulnerable to the counter-attack like you've seen today.
You'll see that happen quite a lot as well. When teams get an early goal, and you mentioned control of the game, Jermaine, Chelsea, of course, scored 2 quite early goals. All of a sudden, they're in control.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's right, come on then, come and take your risks. We've got so much pace on the counter-attack. And then you just play into their hands. And sometimes it's almost inevitable, because what can West Ham do? They can't just sit back themselves and pass it around them. They've got to sort of commit. They've got to get back into the game, and you just play into... And that's the beauty of scoring a couple of goals early on. You just control. You're in total control of the way the game plays then.
From West Ham's perspective, we saw that the fans were obviously disappointed. A few of them did leave quite early as well. What is it that needs to be done now? How can we see a better performance from West Ham? What does Lopetegui need to work on, really? I
think if you look at the team, we spoke before about, obviously, Wan-Bissaka, seemed like he was in the wrong areas. I think just a little bit of structure, to be honest. I think, it's so important in that, because you can talk about tactics and systems and stuff like that, but within that, you need structure. Structure when you got the ball, and structure when you lose it. Like, obviously, managers at this level, they know that. But it's important to understand who you're playing against, because I think if you are playing against a Chelsea team where they're quick on the counter-attack and they've got quick, dynamic players, then for me, it doesn't make sense for me to sort of like vacate those sort of areas for Nicolas Jackson to run into. But like I said, listen, this is early. It's early days, early the season. I'm sure they'll be okay. But you know, on reflection, when you watch this game today, I'm sure there'll be areas that they need to improve on.
And West Ham have got some really good attacking players, haven't they? That actually can probably make something from nothing. I think last season and previous seasons under David Moyes, it was quite boring and quite structured, and you know, you would love a fullback to go and join just to help out the attack a little bit. Actually, now I look at West Ham and think, do you know what? If you leave the attacking players and one or two of the midfield, Paqueta and that attack, between them, I think they can cause trouble. I don't think they need to risk anything at the back by committing the likes of Wan-Bissaka into areas he's no good at anyway. So I think it's quite a strange balance at the moment. But I think they've got the players there. He's just got to shuffle his pack in the right way, tactically, you know, nail it a little bit better. But in terms of players, I think they've got plenty of them and plenty of quality to do okay.
They have got, and they've got a lot of good players in that wing position, haven't they? They've got good wingers, as have Chelsea. Let's just wrap this up talking about Chelsea for a moment, because it has been a really big win and quite a statement today. They will take a lot of confidence from this.
Yeah, I think so. I think winning like that and, you know, winning the game early, getting it done early, and then you look at, you know, full control. I think the way they played from the beginning with the intensity, with and without the ball, the goals that they scored, you know, the subs that they brought on. Yeah, I mean, when you score 2 goals as the number 9, you come off after an hour, you know, to bring someone else on, then you know the strength in depth. But I think it is a statement. But you know, there was a lot of noise around this manager coming in, you know, so. Yeah, it looks good, and for me, sky's the limit for Chelsea, to be honest. And
actually, many would have said that this performance might have come a little bit later on in the season, with the fact that, you know, there's been so much change. Are you surprised that we've seen it so early on? Yeah,
Maresca will be absolutely delighted. I mean, a clean sheet to get, you know, your centre forward that you're dependent on scoring a couple of goals, getting so many players onto the pitch as well, so you've kept so many people happy, and we all know that could be a problem at Chelsea.
Definitely.
I mean, it couldn't really have gone any better. As I say, you can tick so many boxes for Maresca today, and for that type of performance to come so soon, you know, that's the benchmark now.
Chelsea that lead 2-0 at the break. Let's get straight to the action. You said you wanted to see Nicolas Jackson make an impact, score a goal, and he certainly did. Talk us through that opening one in 4 minutes.
I just think from the beginning of the game, really, he looks really sharp. But I think, you know, in terms of West Ham, they go from an attacking position, then conceding a goal. You see here, getting in front of his defender, winning the free kick. And I think it's a case of just West Ham sort of like just switching off. You know, the ball's dead here. You see the West Ham backline sort of like switch off, and I think Wan-Bissaka goes out, you know, he's in the wrong position, there's a massive gap, and then he just vacates that space in behind on the left-hand side that Nicolas Jackson is having so much joy in. And even then, you want the West Ham sort of like centre-backs to sort of like come across and try and engage in that, but for me, I mean, there's too much space, Mo. You can see like a massive gap there.
Yeah, centre-halves, I think they don't cover, do they?
No.
And when they don't do that, and obviously Wan-Bissaka gets caught up, then he's trusting, his centre-half is trusting Alvarez to snuff out the danger. He simply hasn't got the pace.
No.
I mean, I don't think I've seen a Premier League footballer run so slowly as Alvarez there on the way back. I mean, it was incredible and a great celebration. But that was really clinical from Jackson, and he continued that with his second shot. We speak about fullbacks coming inside, Cucurella in this instance, and this is why, if you get that overload, that extra player, it ends up being Caicedo that plays in the ball, but it's only because there's an extra body, and then that's really, really clinical. However, look at Alvarez again. I don't know where he's going here. He gets in front of Jackson, leaves a huge space, and all of a sudden, I mean, both times Alvarez, he's got no pace. Why would you even risk that, Jermaine?
Yeah, I mean, when you spoke about Cucurella coming inside, and what they do to Chelsea, they create a box in the middle of the pitch, so it's really difficult. And for situations like that, but I mean, you know, as a centre-back, Alvarez, when he steps out, you vacate that massive space in behind, is what the number 9 wants. And Jackson runs in behind and listen, you know, we spoke about being calm before, and it was an unbelievable finish.
Yeah. And look at those numbers as well, because this is the company he wants to be seen in. Since May 2024, he's scored 8 goals, only second to Erling Haaland, who's on 15.
Yeah, let's forget about Haaland.
He's
doesn't
just
count.
on his own, isn't he?
Yeah. But for the best of the rest, isn't he? So that's very good from Jackson. I love this finish as well. When you fall away like that, Sim, as you're hitting it and you're falling away, it encourages that left to right spin. So he just set it out on the post, curled it in. It was a beautiful little finish.
Fantastic, brilliant.
Did West Ham deserve a penalty?
When we first saw it, I thought, you know, like for me, I was like, no, that's 100% penalty, especially when I saw it again. You know, some of it was being really sharp, really bright, but I just don't think you can do that. You know, you can't. I think if that's on the halfway line, I think you get given a free kick, 100%, and it's really hard for me to understand why. You can see here, I mean, it's a good 5 or 6 seconds. It's just held it. You can understand, you know, the manager's frustrations.
Yeah, I'm surprised VAR didn't give that as a penalty. It's obviously, we've heard this season referee's call is going to be more prevalent, let's say. They're going to go more with the referee's decision on the pitch, and I'm fine with that unless it's really clear and obvious that it's wrong. But I think that is clear and obvious. There's a prolonged grab of the arm. I think that is clear and obvious, and I think that's one that it's probably not. It shouldn't be a referee's call there. I think it's more obvious than that, and I think that was a penalty.
OK. Both of you spoke highly of Wan-Bissaka before we kicked off for the match. But talk to me about his positioning, Mo. I know you've been analysing this. What's wrong with where he is here? Well,
Chelsea have been exploiting this area of the pitch an awful lot, and it can only be the manager, the tactics of Lopetegui that's asking him, because he's playing high. He's sometimes playing wide, sometimes playing high and inside, Jermaine, but a lot of the time he's out of position, and Chelsea are really exploiting it.
I think sometimes when you, as a fullback, if you are going to do that, like Kukureya, I think when you've got good control of the play, then you can sort of like afford to go high, come inside. But when you've not got good control of the game, then you have to pick your moments to go high or come inside. And I mean, in the first half, how many times have we seen Nicolas Jackson just spin into that channel? He's getting so much joy out there. The first goal comes from him, and it's almost like they've not really learned from that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the second half.
Yeah, it's cost them already, seeing it. It seems like every dangerous attack comes from this left-hand side of Chelsea, so it's an area that Lopetegui might... I know he's made a change or during that first half, but he might have to shore that area up as well, because Jackson's getting in every single time.
Well, with that in mind, it is indeed a big half-time team talk for the West Ham manager.